Hi, my name is Creel Hutchinson. Today, I would like to take some time and share with you some information about a very special water called Kangen Water. A few years ago, a friend gave me a glass of water. The taste and feel of that water grabbed my attention and I started asking questions. I had heard about alkaline water and water machines, but I had never drank from one. My friend suggested I go and hear a presentation on the water and its technology. I did, and I was very impressed with what I saw and heard. I was shocked that I had never heard of this magic water before because I've been involved with the health and wellness industry for about 12 years. I'm a certified yoga teacher. I've studied colon hydrotherapy, nutrition, herbalism, and Eastern medicine. After that presentation, I started to do my research and I started to drink the water. I was very impressed with what I discovered and even more surprised at how the water was affecting my body. I made the decision to change my water, and as a result, my life has changed. I invite you to get comfortable. Sit back, listen with an open mind. The information being presented here has the power to help many, many people with their health. When I went to that first presentation, I thought, I'm going to go hear about an expensive water filter. I quickly realized that this was no ordinary filter. It has a filtering aspect to it, but it is a licensed, registered, and manufactured medical equipment from Japan. This electrolysis device has been used for 38 years in the #1 healthcare system in the world. It also has the backing of 6,700 doctors in that system. Wow! I took that as a big clue. There is something very special about this water. Kangen water is a Japanese term, meaning return to origins. For the Japanese, they're referring to the state that we show up on the planet as infants. We're totally alkaline and hydrated, 90% water. As adults, we slip down to 75% water, and as seniors, we all go all the way down to 55%. So as we age, we dehydrate. So obviously water is a crucial aspect of the aging process. Imagine being ripe grapes at birth and becoming raisins as we age. So wouldn't it only make sense to be paying attention and getting the best drinking water throughout our lifetime? The search for this drinking water took the Japanese around the world, and they discovered that there is a number of miracle springs throughout the world. Lourdes, France, Tecate, Mexico. What they found when they started discovering these waters was that they had very unique characteristics. So what the Japanese did was they created a medical device that would duplicate the same characteristics that they were finding at these locations. The Japanese company that did this is called Enagic. Enagic has been around for 38 years. For the first 20 years, they only built medical devices. Then about 18 years ago, the demands of the hospital were so great. People actually kept coming back and wanting more and more water that they'd been exposed to when they had been in for treatment. So Enagic decided to make a home unit, which has gone international. 11 years ago, we opened up the US office. About 5-6 years ago, we opened up the Canadian office. And throughout the world, now people are having access to this miracle water that used to be found in only certain locations, now can be found in your very own kitchen. The company Enagic is an original equipment manufacturer, which is really important to understand. They create and build the entire device themselves. They also have many awards and many recognitions, and they're a member of the Direct Sales Association. Enagic is an ISO certified company. ISO means International Standards Organization. So we can guarantee you, the consumer, that we're doing the very best things to make the best products. Our environmental standards are at their highest. We also guarantee that we use medical grade titanium and platinum, 99.97% pure. We're the only ionizer company that does this. And to give you some cost value here, platinum is trading for about $1,600 an ounce. Gold is at $1,700 an ounce. So a lot of the expense of this device goes into the high quality plates that we're making. This manufactured medical device in Japan is also an ISO certified manufacturer. So typically the Japanese and the Germans are seen as some of the best manufacturers around the planet. And with these ISO certifications and it being a medical device for 38 years in Japan, we can really guarantee you that you're getting the best quality possible. Enagic has also received many international awards because of our impact that we're having on the environment. Presently, we're having a major issue with plastics. Less than 15% of bottled waters and plastics ever get recycled. A lot of them end up in our oceans and back in our food chain. So people can invest in technology like Kangen Water that reduces their impact by eliminating bottled drinking water and also going green in their environment and in their house. So no more cleaning agents, no more disinfectants. We're also the only WQA certified ionizer in the world. We've received the gold standard, the gold seal from WQA, which stands for Water Quality Association. This is the North American body which guarantees it's safe, its efficacy, and its use has already been proven. So don't take my word for it. Investigate what WQA is and realize that this really sets us at the top of the ionizer industry. Enagic makes a number of machines, ranging from $1,300 all the way up to a commercial unit for $6,000. The most popular machine people will purchase is the Levoluc SD501. So for this presentation, I'm going to focus it on that. This is the approved medical device by the Ministry of Japanese Health, Labor and Welfare. This is the equivalent to the FDA and to Health Canada. It is also the only ionizer endorsed by the Japanese Association of Preventative Medicine for adult diseases. This has the backing of 6,700 doctors. Why? Because the Japanese doctors are seeing when people hit their 40s, they're not getting sick like they are here. Many people today are going to doctors and getting some bad news here in North America, whereas in Japan, who drinks the most ionized water in the world, 1 in 5 families own ionizing technology. They have an excellent diet. They're just not experiencing the same chronic disease states that are starting to show up here in North America. Enagic machines are currently used in over 400 Japanese hospitals and clinics. The Levoluc SD501 makes a wide range of acid and alkaline waters. The 3 drinking waters are 8.5, 9, and then 9.5. We also make a beauty water of 6.0. We have a clean water, which is neutral, and then we have a 2.5 medical grade disinfectant and an 11.5 degreaser for cleaning vegetables and your home, which you'll see later on in the presentation. It's the industry's only continuous water ionizer, meaning that from the moment you turn it on, you run it for 1 hour, you're making the same restructured water from minute 1 to minute 60. Whereas no other ionizers do that because they fluctuate in power. This has the best self-cleaning system, and it's a 5-year warranty, 15 to 20-year life expectancy. It's important to ask the question, what is water? When I first got introduced to this, I said H2O, which I was right, but I didn't realize that that's just a gas molecule, and then you have a certain amount of gas molecules come together to form a structure. Now, according to the Russians and the Japanese who have been studying water for decades, they suggest that this structure is crucially important. There's a great documentary you can find on YouTube called Water the Great Mystery. And in that documentary, the scientists suggest the structure of your water is more important than the chemical compounds. For me, I sat back and said, well, what do they mean? I thought everything was H2O, from tap water to bottled water to creek water. But I realized I was incorrect. That in certain places the structure is very, very different, and this different structure can actually have a great effect on our bodies. So there's a man by the name Dr. Emoto from Japan, and he's been researching the structure of the water. Many people will be familiar with his work. Here are some photos. Mr. Emoto has been able to take pictures of fast freezing these water molecules. So as you can see by this slide, there are a number of different water structures that are being presented. Some of these have gone through a microwave, others have come through the tap, others have come through Kangen Water ionizers. And all of this shows you a very, very different energetic, but also health and vitality of the water. It's clear to me that there'd be one choice that I'd want to be drinking, which is the beautiful snowflakes. Let's talk specifically about the properties of Kangen water. It has 3 very distinct properties. It's a massive antioxidant, it's alkaline, and it's microclustered. Kangen water is full of antioxidants. So imagine this. You have an apple, you cut it open, you leave it on the counter. It goes from that nice white color to going brown. This is a state of oxidization, or another word for it is rusting. So all of us in the human form are all going through a state of rusting. Now, some people are willing to turbo-age this process, or others want to slow this rusting, this aging process down. If you're interested in that, you want to expose yourself to large amounts of antioxidants. Now, when I got introduced to this, I wasn't thinking water as an antioxidant. I was thinking superfoods, blueberries, goji berries. But then quite quickly I started to realize that water makes an excellent source of antioxidants. And to be clear, what is an antioxidant? An antioxidant is anything that donates an electron. A free radical is an unstabilized molecule that steals electrons, creating rust in the process. So through drinking Kangen water and our unique electrolysis process, the water is able to make thousands and thousands and thousands of free electrons in every glass. We're able to measure this through what's known as an ORP, or Oxidative Reduction Potential Scale. Sometimes it's easier to understand it reading it backwards. Potential to reduce oxidization. So if you have something that's a positive score, it's actually increasing oxidization. If you have something on the negative side, it's decreasing oxidization. So let's go take a look at different liquids and how they perform. Let's take a look at the first property of the water, the antioxidants. And we're going to just pour a little bit of all these substances out so we can measure them. So here's Dasani, a product of Coca-Cola. Has been banned in Europe, deemed unconsumable for human consumption by the European authorities. Aquafina, it's a Pepsi-Cola product. Nestle has a spring water. Fiji, this is a well-known bottled water people like to consume. San Pellegrino. Here's Powerade. And this will be similar to all energy drinks. Put a little more in there. And this is soda water. Oh, we'll just let that settle down for a moment. And here is Sprite, tap water, some Kangen water, our extra fizzy. So what I have here is a oxidative reduction potential meter. So what we're able to measure with these liquids is whether it's going to be increasing oxidization, which will be the rusting effect, which will give us a positive number, or a negative number, which will indicate an antioxidant. So let's see where Dasani is at. It'll be 342. Aquafina, around 330s. Let's see where Nestle is. And we got 360s. Here's Fiji. Dropping down a little bit, 340s. San Pellegrino. And we're getting closer to 400. And we've got Powerade. We take a big jump here, we get close to 500. Soda water goes over 500. Here's a good clue. From the moment you showed up on the planet, with every exhalation, we're getting rid of carbon dioxide. So the last thing you want to do is put a big dose of carbonation back into the body. It's very, very oxidizing, extremely rusting to the system. And let's try soda. This is Sprite, but it'll be the same for all. High 400s once again. Tap water. And we're getting in around 350. And then we've got Kangen water, which will jump into a negative, and see it's quite active, averaging around negative 400. So as you can see from this display, all these other substances are positive. They're increasing oxidization, and we've got Kangen water, which is the only negative. Another way to look at this is also a referral to cellular voltage. So it takes a lot of energy to be alive as a human. We're a negatively charged being living in a negatively charged environment. The earth is negatively charged. So when you're consuming these substances, they're actually stealing cellular voltage from you. But when you're consuming this natural negatively charged water, which occurs naturally in nature, because we have water running from a high place in the mountains to a low place, runs from potential energy into kinetic energy, picking up a negative current. This is the water we want to be drinking, and with Kangen water you get to revitalize and increase your cellular voltage. People are usually really surprised to see that their tap water tests high on the ORP scale. Usually it's actually the highest one. So testing above or at the same level as carbonated drinks and sodas. The reason for this is because of chlorine. Now, municipalities throughout North America and the world are forced to put this into their waters because it's very effective at being able to steal the electrons from bacteria and neutralizing the water so that we can know that it's going to be safe for drinking, and a lot of people aren't going to get sick from bacteria that spreads in the water. But is this necessarily clean, equaling healthy water? And there's lots of reports to suggest that chlorine is directly related to the body getting out of balance. You can go on to the Google and research chlorine, and we know that in the body it turns into trichloramines, a known cancer-causing agent. So at the very least you want to get your water safe and free from chlorine. So let's take a look at the Kangen water machine and how we deal with chlorine. Here's water from the machine, our Kangen 9.5, and here's tap water. And we're going to fill up these two containers side by side. And we're going to use these chlorine drops. Now you can get this at any pool store. And if it turns any color of yellow, it indicates that there's chlorine present. So today we can see that there's quite a bit of chlorine present in the water. Now we can assume that this would be the exact same color. So most of us, we hop up in the morning, we like to take a shower. So here's me taking a shower. And here's me testing the chlorine level of my shower. And we'll just give it a little swirl. When I saw this the first time, I was shocked. Where did all the chlorine go? Well, all the chlorine went into me. It's actually absorbed instantaneously by the skin. So in your average 5 to 10 minute shower, it's like drinking 6 to 8 cups of chlorinated water. So it's one thing to filter the water out of our drinking water, but we also want to eliminate it out of our bathing water. It's the largest organ of our body, absorbing water throughout the day. So at the very least, we suggest getting a $20 to $25 shower filter, which will take the chlorine out at your home. If you're interested in a more sophisticated model, Enagic has an amazing spa unit, world-renowned, that is like bathing underneath a hot waterfall. And for the chlorine side, even a step towards having a basic filter is far better than just drinking the tap water. And we can see with the Kangen water, our machine completely takes out all the chlorine. The second main element of Kangen water is its alkaline state. So let's picture this. From 0 to 7 is acidic, from 7 to 14 is alkaline. We're designed to eat and drink 80% alkaline, 20% acidic. But unfortunately, in the last 100 years, we've really switched this. In our modern day society, we're consuming way more acid substances than alkaline, and we're starting to see some really big health effects start to show up. Now for our blood, which is specifically key to this, our blood runs in a narrow range from 7.35 to 7.45. So we're slightly alkaline creatures by nature. Now, what happens when we get exposed to acid during our day, perhaps a very heavy cooked meal, or the number one creation of acid in the body is actually stress. So we've had a stressful day, we release an acid response in the bloodstream. How the body wants to be able to deal with that is it looks for alkaline minerals. Ideally, you've gotten them through your diet and what you've been drinking. But quite clearly, as you'll soon see, most of us are consuming acid and drinking acid. So the body gets put in this state of acidosis. In order to deal with this, the body strips calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium from your connective tissues, joints, and bones. So consuming acid foods and beverages really starts to affect the digestive system. We start to strip calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium. Drinking Kangen water helps because we load up your bloodstream with all these alkaline minerals and make them extremely bioavailable. So you've had a stressful day, you hit the red light, you cram on the brakes, you're driving, and all of a sudden you tense up. Acid gets released. But no worries, you've been drinking Kangen water all day. So the body then reaches in, grabs these alkaline minerals, and creates what's known as a bicarbonate buffering process. Mixes alkaline with the acidity and neutralizes you back to ideally 7.365 in the bloodstream. Exposure to an acidic lifestyle, which we're all experiencing day to day in our modern world, has certain effects on us. The beginning symptoms, as you can see by this slide, acne, low energy, allergies, headaches, maybe even eczema, all start to pop out. These can be corrected quite quickly with good diet, good water, good night's sleep. But for a lot of us, we start to miss these warning signals and we lead into the intermediate zone where now you've got insomnia, psoriasis, infections, irritable bowel syndrome. We're starting to note that the body is getting more acidic and it's giving us more direct signs that things are not balanced. A lot of people continue to ignore these symptoms and end up in the third category, advanced states. So this is where chronic disease states start to really take effect. Crohn's disease, diabetes, arthritis. For us in North America, a lot of us are getting the bad news from our doctor at about age 40. So the benefits of drinking Kangen water is we allow the body to have a lot of alkaline minerals to override and help balance out this acidic lifestyle we're living. In the advanced states of acidosis, we can see that all forms of cancer exist. Now, in 1931, a man by the name of Dr. Otto Warburg won Nobel Peace Prizes for proving that cancer could only survive in an acidic environment. Thus, the solution was to get alkaline. Now, I've been involved in health and wellness for 12, 15 years, and what I realize is most people are unwilling to change lifestyle. But most people are willing to change their water. So imagine shifting over to an antioxidant alkaline water that could have this type of effect rather than trying out a new health program for 6 or 8 weeks and falling off. The water plays such a crucial role, 75% of your body's it. Many people say you are what you eat, but in reality, it's what you drink is so much more important. The second property of the water is its alkalinity. So let's take these pH drops and we're going to put a couple drops into each container here and we're going to see the acid or alkaline nature of each one of these substances. And I'll just So remembering what we learned before is on the pH chart, it's 0 to 7 is acidic, 7 to 14 is alkaline. But important to know is from 7 to 8 is times 10. It's a logarithmic scale. So from 7 to 9 is times 100. 7 to 10 is times 1,000 and 10,000. So the farther you move away from center, the exponential growth that happens. So let's see how these things do. Dasani. We're seeing a definite yellow color. So this is about a 5 pH, which is about 100 to 500 times more acidic than the pH of your blood. Aquafina will be about the same. And this can be the same for all reverse osmosis process, which is what these waters are. Then we move into Nestle, which is more in the neutral range. It comes from a spring water source, so there's some naturally occurring alkaline minerals there. Here's Fiji water. We can see it's more blue, it's up to about an 8. Now it's important when you're shopping for bottled waters to read the labels. This bottle of Fiji decided to add it in fluoride ions, which is a synthetic alkaline mineral, so it actually can fake the pH. Because typically when people get these bottles of water, they're between 1 year to 2 years old. There's no shelf life on bottled water. It's the most unregulated industry on the planet right now, and basically these manufacturers can bottle water from around the world, put them in containers, ship them all over the place. So they've been sitting on the docks in the sunlight, leaching this plastic bottle into the water. So imagine yourself pouring a glass of water, leaving it on your counter for 1.5 years, coming back to it and drinking. That's the same principle that's happening with bottled waters. We can move into San Pellegrino, and this will be for all mineral waters. We start to see the carbonated side, and it starts to get into the more dangerous side. This is actually 10,000 times more acidic than the pH of your blood. Here we get into more danger. This is starting to get into the 50,000 range. So no athlete in their right mind would ever consume these sports energy drinks. Here is soda water, same with tonic water, 50,000 times. The entire soda industry, 50,000 times more acidic than your blood. Here is tap water, which generally should be yellow. Which should be neutral. Today we can see it's slightly below. So the way the municipalities regulate this system, because they're federally regulated to be between 7.1 and 7.4 pH, and that most cities will add lye, L-Y-E, which has a scale of 13, into the system to pH buffer the water so that it's above 7. Their concern is to rust out the municipality pipes. Your concern should be if you're drinking below 7, you're rusting out and oxidizing your pipes. Then we have Kangen water at a 9.5. So full of alkaline minerals to neutralize and rebalance the acid-alkaline state in your body. Now what's important to know is people come out and see this presentation and they get excited about trying this water. So here's some Kangen 9.5, and let's just see when mixing this into your body what will start to happen. We can shift quite quickly. So what I found is people generally don't want to change lifestyle choices. We know we're supposed to eat healthier, go to the gym more, be more active, and that might last for a few weeks. But with changing your water, you can have a dramatically bigger effect. Notice there is no change in color when we get down to the carbonated sugar drinks. Here's the tap water, easily changed, and then we've got more Kangen right here. Now, I knew before I saw this presentation that sodas and carbonated drinks weren't good for me, but I had no idea how not good for me they were until I saw this. Here's the soda. Imagine just having a sip. If you decide to drink one of these, the 50,000 times more acidic pH than your blood, the result is you're going to have to drink 32 of the 9.5 pH Kangen water in order to neutralize the acidic effect. For coffees, it's about 24 to 1. For boxed fruit drinks, it's about 12 to 1. So you can see by this display that if you're really getting serious about wanting to become alkaline, and we've seen the chart of all the situations of acidosis and those symptoms, the best way that I have found is to be drinking Kangen water. You can drink it throughout the day, load up your blood with alkaline minerals, so it neutralizes the modern day lifestyle, our eating, our drinking patterns, so that we can be more balanced and create homeostasis healthy in the body. The third key property to Kangen water is its microclustering property. which means the average water molecule is about 15 to 20 clusters. So these larger clusters really limit the amount of absorption. So imagine a small snowball. We put these snowballs through our electrolysis device straight out of your tap water, and we shear them down, cutting the bonds, shrinking it down to what I see as a snowflake. They're usually 4 to 6 molecules and make for far easier absorption. How easy? Well, typically the average bottled water or tap water, spring runoff water, you'll absorb about 12 to 17%. Through the ionized process in Kangen water, you will actually absorb 80% of the water. Now imagine being able to hydrate 6 times as fast. Why is this important? Well, your lymphatic system, which is how we detoxify in the body, runs like a water slide. The moment your cells get hydrated, it's actually wanting to detox, drop the toxins that it's been storing in the fat tissues so that your whole body starts to naturally perform detoxification. If you never get hydrated, which is suggested that about 85% of people in North America are chronically dehydrated, this process never happens. So with Kangen water, don't be surprised if you start to drink this water and you start to have some experience of detoxification. This can be anywhere from mild headaches to flu-like symptoms, more trips towards the bathroom. And it really starts to look like this. How do you feel? A lot of people just naturally feel like they're not getting enough water in their life. Even though they're drinking lots, they're going to the bathroom lots, and they just really can't quench their thirst. So imagine going into a room, we've probably all seen this. You see a plant that's been dehydrated, it's flopping over. You rush to give it some water. 3, 4, 5 hours later, it's blooming, it's nice and happy again. That's the state that people are walking around in. Many of us are feeling floppy. Whereas when we get around this water and we start drinking it for what we suggest, try it out for 3 weeks, people really start to feel the sense of what it is like to be fully hydrated. The next property of the water is microclustering. So here I have a simple green tea. And I'm going to take this bag. And here's tap water on my right and Kangen water on my left. So we're going to put the tea bag in and fill it up with water. There's 1, 2, 3. Kangen water. 1, 2, 3. Let's do one more right here. Kangen water. 1, 2, 3. We'll switch back to tap water. 1, 2, 3. A little more tap water. So perhaps you're thinking that the tea bag has already been played out with the Kangen. Let's do a little more Kangen water. 1, 2, 3. And we'll try tap water one more time. 1, 2, 3. And our last one, Kangen water. 1, 2, 3. And we'll just leave that off to the side. So as you can see, the water, Kangen water, is able to extract, pull out the tea so much more effectively than the tap water. The same thing is happening in your body. You're absorbing 12 to 17% of bottled water, tap water, or whatever you're drinking right now. With Kangen water, we shrink the water molecule, so we go from snowballs to snowflakes. That snowflake is able to permeate through the tea structure of the plant matter of the tea. It's able to hydrate it and extract the properties much more effectively. So just imagine what it's doing in your body. A lot of people get around this water and they start to drink, and they realize they can drink much more of the water. They go to the bathroom less, and they feel much more hydrated. Their body starts to detox and work much more effectively. So I think this example clearly indicates the third property of the water, which is similar to that effect of, as we've seen in the picture, the plant drooping and then brought back to life. A lot of people have the same sensation when they start drinking this water. Doctors and healthcare practitioners around the world are starting to become very familiar with Kangen water. One man in particular, Dr. Hironya Shinya, has been familiar with this water for a number of years. In one of his recent books, he writes, Kangen water is considered the very best drinking water because of its incomparable power of hydration, detoxification, and antioxidation. You have seen all these properties clearly expressed in the previous slides. Mr. Shinya is the inventor of the colonoscopy and has performed over 370,000 procedures with his team. He is in his mid-70s, still works in one of the most prestigious medical centers in New York City and Japan, considered an expert regarding the colon and digestion. His work has led him to understand that the solution to pollution is through dilution. Thus the importance of Kangen water to create superhydration, which leads to natural detoxification. Additional benefits from this detox is the majority of people will have natural weight loss occur that can be easily maintained by continuing to drink Kangen water. When people come to ask him for help, he puts them on a two-stage approach. One, he won't treat you unless you drink a gallon of Kangen water a day, and number two, an alkaline diet. That doesn't necessarily mean 100% raw food. So let's see some of the results that he's getting. This is a woman with breast cancer. She's 45 years old, chronically constipated. Clearly we can see the picture on the left does not look good. 3 months later, following Mr. Shinya's technique, it looks like this, far improved. Another example. Here's a woman in her mid-30s, high cholesterol. Now there's millions and millions of people in our world looking like this on the inside. 3 months later, looking like this. Significant difference. And here's a third picture. A man, prostate cancer, 52 years old. Clearly we can see that whatever this man's been up to for about 40 years has been very oxidizing, extremely rusting for the insides. Now, following Mr. Shinya's technique, 3 months later it looks like this. When I got introduced to these photos, because of my background in colon hydrotherapy, I was a little shocked. I didn't think that this was possible to have this form of detoxification without an extensive detoxing program. But I yet hadn't understood the full power of this water. Whenever you're able to superhydrate the colon, the entire body wants to naturally detoxify. How it does this is through the lymphatic system. So we're storing toxins in our fat tissues. And when we get hydrated, then those fat tissues push the toxins into our lymphatic system and we start to detoxify. So a lot of people will experience these types of symptoms when drinking this water. It might be more trips to the bathroom, flu-like symptoms, low energy. But that will take about a day, maybe up to 10 days, and then you get to the next side of this experience, which is your body getting fully hydrated and more energized. So far in the presentation, you've been learning about the unique properties of the drinking water of Kangen water, the antioxidants, the alkalinity, and the microclustering. Well, that's only half the machine. The other half of the machine makes some very unique waters. Here's our SD 501 Platinum. The top three functions are our drinking water. We can go from
Kangen Water 8.5.
8.5 to 9 to 9.5. We encourage people to start at 8.5 for a week, 10 days, then move up to 9, and then 9.5. Then we have clean water. So this is non-ionization is happening. So whenever you push one of the buttons on the Kangen machine, you always make two streams. So we're going to have 7 coming out the top and 7 coming out the acid hose. We recommend this for people that are using pharmaceutical prescription drugs. We want you to take clean water half hour before and half hour after your medication. Also for babies under the age of 1, they're already so alkaline they don't need more alkaline water, or if you want to use it in your foods. The 7, the 8.5, 9, 9.5 are all fantastic for cooking in the kitchen with, soaking rices. It really brings out the flavor. We have a unique function. Our beauty water. So this is between 5.5 and 6.0, the top 10 layers of your skin. The entire cosmetic industry, billion-dollar industry, is using toned water and adding fragrance to it and charging from $10 to $100 for these toners. You can make as much as you want right here out of the Kangen machine by adding your own fragrance. So they come in these nice little bottles that you can carry around. So it tonifies the skin, tightens and softens it, and makes us look a little younger. Then we have our specialty waters.
Strong acidic water.
Strong acidic water. Once again, when you push one button, you make 2 waters. We're making a strong acid water, which is a 2.5 medical grade disinfectant, and an 11.5 high alkaline water. We're able to effectively do this because we have this unique chamber on the side. It's an electrolysis enhancing chamber. We add more salt to the process. So whenever you're making 2.5 and 11.5, we need to add more minerals so that it creates more electric conductivity with the electrolytes. So we're able to make this big split. We're the only ionizer company that has this side chamber, and we're the only company that can effectively make these 2.5 and 11.5 waters. Other companies will claim to be able to make a disinfectant, but a medical grade disinfectant has to be below 2.6. Why? 99% of bacteria is effectively killed at that level, whereas if you're making 2.7, you're only killing 1%. So it's important to understand where that range is, because there's many companies will advertise a disinfectant water, but in actuality they're only disinfecting 1%. So whenever we make these waters, we've got this 2.5 and we've got this 11.5. The 11.5 is especially handy in the kitchen. So we all buy our fruits and vegetables, we take it home from the store, and most of us will soak it in tap water. If you've got a Kangen water machine, you'll bring it home from the store and you'll soak it in the 11.5 water. So let's do that now. Here's our 11.5 water, and we're going to soak our fruits and vegetables. And for most of us, we bring our produce home and we soak it in tap water, so we'll do that right there. And we'll just let both of those soak. And while they do, let me explain a little more of the 2.5. This has also been shown to be extremely effective with using on the skin. So it's safe to use, it doesn't burn, it doesn't sting. If you have psoriasis, eczema, acne, athlete's foot, foot funguses, this all can be treated extremely effectively with this 2.5 water. This is actually the water that the Japanese have been using the longest in their hospitals for 38 years to disinfect. So imagine going chemical free in your home, being able to eliminate those chemicals that come in and get around ourselves, and being able to really promote a green environment. It's now possible with this 2.5. I also like to carry these small little disinfectant bottles, because I know out in today's world we're being chosen or being suggested to use sanitation napkins or spritzers and cleaners. Imagine using water. Moving along, let's move into the 11.5 water. And we'll start with some oil. This is your regular sesame seed oil. And for most of us, we've heard the saying, oil and water don't mix. Well, let's put it to the test. Here's our tap water. Once again, proven correctly, oil and water not mixing. And here's our 11.5 high pH Kangen water. When I saw this the first evening, I was very surprised and very shocked, because I had heard oil and water didn't mix, and then all of a sudden I was seeing something that was very unique, very different. So I had to ask questions, why? Well, we've taken the tap water and we've moved this through this electrolysis device, and all of a sudden the water molecules are tiny enough that they're able to permeate through the protein bonds and able to emulsify oil. This can be very exciting when you're a cleaner, because as a degreaser it's very effective. So imagine once again being able to clean your house, using it as a degreaser on your ovens, your stove, your floors. You can even use it in your laundry. I like to put one container like this into every load of laundry, because the 11.5 is extremely slippery and it reduces the surface tension of the water. The exact same purpose that soap serves as doing it at the laundry. So imagine not having to buy any more laundry detergent and just using water. You can add a couple drops of essential oils to add fragrance, and there you go. But the most exciting part about the 11.5 is what it does actually in the kitchen. So we'll take our tomatoes that have been soaking in the tap water and we're going to pour them into here. And then we take the 11.5 water and we do the same thing. And let's put those two cups side by side. So as you can see, with the tap water, looks like regular tap water coming off. And with the 11.5 water, we've got a container that looks very yellow. So what is this? Well, the agricultural industry likes to use oil-based pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides. They do so that when it rains or when they're watering, their fertilizers aren't washed off. This ends up on our produce and ends up on our kitchen table. So with the 11.5 water, we're able to effectively reduce and remove these residues. Now, we encourage people to buy organic because it just makes sense in the overall equation for your bodies and for the planet. But even organic today doesn't mean residue-free. The transportation, the manufacturing of it, it shows up in our health food stores, it gets tap water sprayed on it, so more chemicals, chlorine gets added. So the only true way I found to effectively clean my produce before I ingest it is to use the 11.5 water. Of special note here, it also has such a negative charge to it that when I soak these tomatoes in the 11.5 water, it starts to return the negative current into the fruits and vegetables. It absorbs all these free electrons so that the antioxidant level is actually increased. But most importantly, the taste is far better. You actually taste a sweet tomato versus something that is a little more sour, rigid, harder to taste, and has an acid feel to it. So at the end of the day, the overall use of the Kangen water machine is quite incredible. You've got a versatile product that hooks up to your tap, making these amazing health waters for drinking, but it also makes a beauty water, a cleaning water, a disinfectant, and you can clean your fruits and vegetables with it. So we really ask people to invest in your health, but also in a green, sustainable future that you could be using this technology in your home for decades to come. Let's review some of the waters previously mentioned in the product demonstration to completely understand the versatility of this technology. Beauty water. This is a 6.0 pH water. So naturally our skin, the top 10 layers are between 5.5 and 6.0. So the water that we can create out of the Kangen machine has natural astringent properties that are great for toning and firming the skin. It also acts as a great hair washing, removes tangles, and produces a great shine. This water can also be really effective for watering plants and for storing cut flowers in. Strong acid water, 2.5 pH water. So this is 50,000 times more acidic than neutral. It's known as a medical grade disinfectant. Why? Because it kills 99% of all known bacteria within about 60 seconds underneath the microscope. So the Japanese have been using this water in their hospitals for 38 years, disinfecting and treating wounds. We can use it in residential and commercial settings. So imagine going chemical-free in your home with spraying with water as a disinfectant. It treats acne, eczema, psoriasis, and skin conditions extremely effectively. Strong Kangen water, 11.5 pH water. So this is actually 50,000 times more alkaline than neutral. This is an excellent cleaning. It's able to degrease, and as you've seen, it's able to emulsify oil. So you can use this to clean your laundry with. Putting a couple liters into a laundry load will actually reduce the surface tension. That usually is what soap's purposes is, and you can effectively clean your laundry by just dropping in a few essential oils for smell. It removes oil-based pesticides and the rawness that we find on fruits and vegetables. So this is how it works. You've got your tap water, and we go through the Kangen machine and it gets filtered. This removes the lead, the rust, the chlorine, sediments, bacteria, and odors. Then it enters into the ionizer chamber. We line up 7 titanium plates double dipped in medical grade platinum, and we line them up negative, positive, negative, positive. The water goes in and we send an electric current over the plates, 230 watts. Now ionization starts to happen, and it separates the alkaline minerals from the acidic minerals, creating 2 streams leaving the ionization chamber. In doing so, it reactivates the water, making it supercharged. Now, the ionizer quality drivers are these 4 key ingredients: the size and composition of the plates, the power supply, the warranty, and the manufacturing. Let's take a look. For our plates, you can see that we use 7 solid plates, platinum, titanium, ISO certified medical grade. And our competition chooses to use what's known as mesh technology. And they're made of alloy compositions. And you can clearly see that the size is very, very different. But what's more key is the actual medical grade titanium versus an alloy composition. Medical grade is considered a food safe standard. So for the consumer, it's pretty obvious where you want to choose if you're going to be ingesting something into your body. Here's the size of our plates. Ours look like a VHS set, whereas the composition, you can have anything from quarters up to playing card sizes. The Kangen machine uses a power supply of 230 watts from a transformer source. This is consistent power the whole way through you're making restructured water. The competition uses something that's known as switch mode power supply, SMPS technology. This is very similar to your cell phone. So when your cell phone is being operated, the power goes up, and when you're not using it, it goes down. Now, would it make sense to be making restructured water that the power is actually fluctuating while you're making this water? Now you might ask, well, why would they do this? Quite easily put, the power creates heat, and the heat will start to melt alloy plates, whereas with our medical plates, we don't have this concern. Enagic offers a 5-year warranty with the SD501. This covers absolutely everything, so bumper to bumper. No flow restrictions, no hard water limits. Our competition, you'll have varying things from 2 years all the way up to lifetime. I suggest you look for the fine print and ask them to send it to you. Lifetime in a lot of cases has been redefined as much less than you and I consider lifetime. There's also many restrictions. If you're creating more than 2.5 gallons a day, your warranty is voided. If you plug it into a hard water zone, once again, you also are voided. Now this becomes a major concern because 80% of North America actually has hard water. So people won't know this until 3 or 4 years later when the minerals have built up on the plates because they haven't been able to effectively clean it, and they're using alloy composition with the mesh technology. And then when they call and ask for a warranty, they realize that from day one their warranty was actually voided. The last key thing to consider when purchasing an ionizer is where the manufacturing comes from. For us, Enagic is a certified, licensed, registered manufacturer from Japan, has been doing it for 38 years. We specialize in ionizers versus Emcotech, based out of Korea, makes the parts and pieces for about 40 to 50 different ionizers. They also make refrigerators, ovens, microwaves, a whole warehouse full of kitchen appliances. So at the end of the day, do I want to choose to have a medical manufacturer deliver me a water supply for the next 20 years? Or am I going to choose to go to a kitchen appliance which does many, many things at a lower quality? So when I went out to that first presentation and found myself being really impressed at the end of it, I asked the guy, well, how much is this? And he told me it was $4,000, $39.80 in the United States. I was a bit surprised and I thought it was expensive. And he looked at me and he said, you know what, that's what everyone says. I suggest you just drink the water and you do your research. Which I did. And quite clearly it became that this is not a purchase, but an investment in my health. On the internet, you're going to find a wide range of websites saying that they can do the exact same thing our machine does for $2,000, $2,500. But now you know the truth. You have to look for certain drivers of this technology, the key to manufacturing. If you're making a cheaper machine, the only thing that you have going for you is it's cheaper. And the way you were able to do that is because you cut manufacturing costs. So really it's not an apples to apples comparison. We're dealing with two very different technologies. One a medical device, one a kitchen appliance device. Most people after seeing this presentation or coming out and seeing a live demo are interested in trying the water. So we encourage you to do a 21-day free trial. Get back to the person that sent you this presentation, or contact the person that you know has a machine and ask them you'd like to start. We recommend doing 8.5 for a week, then 9.0 for another week, and then 9.5. Track your health results in our 21-day program. For those of you that have already decided that you're ready to change your water, and thus potentially change your life dramatically, we have different financing options available. The head office for Canada is in Richmond, BC, and for the United States is in Torrance, California. They take cash, credit card, or personal check. If that's not where you are at financially to be able to invest all of this at one point, no problem. We have other financing options. We have credit checks that will allow someone to make zero down and pay anywhere from $80 to $120, depending on the program that you fit into. For those of you that don't have any credit, there's a great program offered by the company itself. It's called the Enagic E program. It's approximately 25% down, and you have the option of paying the machine off in 3, 6, 10, or 16 months. No credit check is provided here. This concludes my presentation. When I went out that first evening, a little over 2 years ago, I made a decision that night to do my investigation and to try this water, which I encourage you to do. And then I came to the point where I had to make a decision to change my water, to change my life. It was one of the best decisions I've ever done. And I've recommended this water to many, many people since then. And each person has found themselves having to make the same decisions. And those that have, and that have purchased a Kangen Water machine, have told me day after day, for months and months, how it's improved their health, their life, their relationships, and so much more. So I can firmly stand behind this technology and say this is the best healthcare product I have ever seen. Others are good, but nothing gets as essential and fundamental as water. And this is something that you will use day in and day out for the next 20 years. It's irreplaceable. So I ask you, are you ready to change your water, to change your life? If you are interested in additional information regarding the science, technology, company, health benefits, competition reviews, or wish to participate in the 21-day free Kangen Water trial, please contact the person who gave you this video. Additional inquiries and support can be found at www.livinghydration.com. Thank you for your attention. We wish you and your family the greatest health possible.